Oh hey, look, a mostly TF2 YouTuber doing a, hopefully, one-off video about the stereotypes of various players that could be found within a shooting game. Where have I seen this one before? Okay, so obvious is obvious, this is a very heavily inspired video concept. However, I'm not making this just to riff on someone else's idea. I'm making this video because there are some legitimate stereotypes that can be found about the certain P variants that people play. So in this video, we're going to be covering the various stereotypes associated to the various Peashooter variants in Garden Warfare 2. This is a video designed as a one-off. However, if you'd like to see this become a potential series, then you're in luck, because I'm trying to hit 8 billion subscribers before the end of the year, and if we can do that, I'll make a part 2. And with all that being said, let's begin. So all of the regular variants have a few repeating stereotypes attached to them, but the two most common ones you'll run into are the new players who've just installed the game and don't have any other unlocks, or the returning players who understand that gimmicks don't mean anything in the face of consistency. Now that second one is a little bit less true for the Peashooter specifically, because some of his gimmick variants are incredibly strong, but we'll get to that later. Believe that. So the majority of regular Peashooter players are just simply those who don't have any other unlocks. They can often be found pogoing around and spamming hyper every time the ability is not on cooldown. Actually, you can probably just find these guys spamming abilities full stop. Chances are, you find a regular Peashooter, he's probably a newer player, which makes for easy killing, so have fun. Oh, this is an easy one. This is a classic case of I unlocked this from a sticker pack and it does fire damage, so therefore it must be better than the regular variant. These players are the kind of guys to use a variant purely because it's not the regular one. It's the sake of using unlocks just because you have them. And I feel that Fire P players take this to a 10. The people who play Fire P absolutely swear by him on fire variants as a whole. Unbeknownst to them, however, Fire P is kind of arse. And so are most fire variants actually, but hey, it does damage over time and that's enough for these guys. But honestly, they'd just be better off with the regular Peashooter. No. Okay? No, I said I wasn't going to make that joke. I'm better than that. Maybe. So Ice P players are split into two factions, with one being annoying and the other being infuriating. The first kind I'm going to call the sentimental players, as these guys only play the Ice P because the Snow Pea is one of their favourite plants in the tower defense games. Oh, and you can bet your ass these will be the first guys to let you know that this is not in fact the Snow Pea and is instead the Ice Pea, which is a completely different plant. You've probably heard that a million times from these guys, thinking it's an original cool fact that nobody knows. Now the second faction of Ice P players are the ones you are much more likely to run into, and these guys I'm just going to refer to as the brain dead freeze spammers. These guys will pick the ice variants for every class just so they can freeze their enemies and get brain dead kills. And this is especially true with the Ice P because he has splash damage, so getting freezes is super easy. Although the chances actually are that when they do freeze you, they're going to be reloading because they missed so many shots whilst pogoing around you with hyper. So if you encounter an Ice P in game, just prepare to be annoyed, full stop. I actually have quite a lot to say about Toxic P, despite the fact that nobody plays him. First of all, you want Pogo P? Well, here you are. These guys give Olympic athletes a run for their money. And I generally find that's because most Toxic P players are on the younger side of the player base. Like, the overwhelming majority of them are younger than, say, 14, 15. And I don't know why they're drawn to the character, I really don't, but they are. Maybe it's because he's more forgiving, I don't know. However, despite my saying that, there are a very small group of Toxic P players who are living out the nostalgic days from Garden Warfare 1. You see, in Garden Warfare 1, Toxic P was a very different beast. And obviously, coming into Garden Warfare 2, that was no longer going to be the case. So everyone who used to play him dropped him in favour of other characters. But it's quite easy to tell who those veteran players are who are just going on a bit of a nostalgia trip. And it all comes down to the gas mask. If you see a Toxic P with a gas mask on, you can assume he's like no older than 14, 15 and will probably just spam pogo. However, if he's wearing some cosmetics that remove the gas mask, you can assume he is a Garden Warfare 1 veteran, and is probably just playing Toxic P to either level him up or remember better times. Like, I know this is a bit weird and specific, but I promise you it is entirely true. Also, out of every Peashooter, these guys are the ones most likely to revive you. I just thought I'd throw that in there. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for not saying anything inflammatory about this variant that nobody plays. I am a Commando Pea enthusiast, but I seem to be the only one on the planet. And I also have a feeling I'm going to be saying that later again in this video. I actually have a hunch that this is the least played Pea variant, purely because players who tend to gravitate towards the Peashooter are looking for brain dead splash damage spam, and that's not something the Commando Pea can do. It is a shame though. I really like the Commando Pea. I like his design, I like his banana, and I like his primary. But in terms of actual stereotypes, you can either assume that no one plays him, or the person playing him is going to have him at a very high rank. This is the same with all variants who have a limited player base, because the only kinds of people that play lesser variants are either those who really like their design, or those who are trying to force them into viability. Oh, have I got something to say about this one. So for those who are ignorant to the horrors of man, the Agent Pea is a contender not only for the best plant in the entire game, but for the best character in the entire game. This was the exact same case in Garden Warfare 1, however despite the nerfs he received coming into Garden Warfare 2, the more things change, the more they stay the same. So it's pretty safe to say that Agent Pea has been king for a very long time. However, the players who actually play him vary massively. First of all, you do have the pub stompers who will join the lobby, utterly melt the zombie team, and then just leave without doing anything else. However, these guys aren't anywhere near as common as those who have seen other players do this and tried to replicate it themselves, but fail miserably. If this does end up becoming a series, I'm going to refer to these guys as imitators. They basically see someone doing something with an insanely good character, try to replicate it, and, well, it never really goes well. Regardless of which one you run into though, the majority of Agent Pea players think they are way better than they actually are. And they probably also taunt after every kill, and they're also probably the kind of players that are most likely to message you after a game calling you a slur. Chances are, if you see an Agent Pea, there's like a 70% chance they're not going to be very good, but just be mindful. These are the Agent Peas who are actually good at the game. Low P players can be really scary to encounter because there is a more than greater chance that they will utterly destroy you. The odds are kind of swapped from the Agent P, as I'd say around 70% of low P players are utterly terrifying. However, there are of course the 30% that are not very good at the character, aka Mr. Hyper up to the target, miss all 6 shots and use the remainder of your ability to get away. But these guys aren't as common, as they're normally trying to play Agent P. So if you see a low P in game, be prepared and be prepared to be destroyed. Especially if you're playing on PC. These guys on PC are an utter menace to deal with. So there are two types of Plasma Pea players, those who only spam uncharged shots, and those who only charge their shots up in combat. There is no in between, you are one or the other. The Plasma spammers will never be seen charging up their shots and will instead just choose the Pogo Pea and utterly spam you to death. And the chargers will hold their charge outside of combat for as long as they can and even charge up their shots mid-fight as well. Like really, there is no in between. Also, always console players. Like, this is a really weird one. The majority of Plasma Pea players are console players. You know, it could be either Xbox or PlayStation, it doesn't really matter which one. And because they're playing on console, there's a more than greater chance that their mic will permanently be on and you'll have to listen to someone else's hoovering in the background. Apart from that, I don't really have much else to say about Plasma Pea. He's very good, but not a lot of the people who play him are. So, let's just spin the wheel of derogatory P terms. Let's see what we get for this one. Okay, so Plasma Pea mains are puppy kicking, spinning again, lagging, our final one, okay, yeah, Moonbase Z fans. So if you're a Plasma Pea main, you're a puppy kicking, lagging Moonbase Z fan. I am so good at YouTube. So do you remember earlier in the Commando Pea section where I mentioned that I might be defending a terrible character in the future? Well, yes, I'm doing it right here. Rock-P was the very first character in Garden Warfare 2 I ever got to master rank back on my original Xbox. I am a big fan of Rock-P, I'm a massive defender of this guy, even though he is a contender for the worst character in the entire game. And I feel other Rock-P players are just like me. So in case you're wondering, that's the stereotype. Anyone who plays Rock-P knows exactly how bad he is, but still plays him because they have a sentimental attachment to nothing. Just like me. If you've never played Rock P before, give him a try. You'll hate it, but it's fun, so it's great. Do it now. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you are prone to sensitive imagery, I ask you look away now as I reveal to all those who dare to face the storm, the devil himself. This is the Electro Pea, also known as the EP, or the best character within the entirety of Garden Warfare 2. And by best, I mean most busted. And the people that play him only play him for this reason. The Electro Pea himself is more abused than an abandoned boppet, as the people who play him have no love for themselves or anyone else around them. Just being within the same room as an EP main is enough to twist one's perception of reality. If you or a loved one have been affected by Electro Pea mains, there are people you can talk to. In fact, you may join my Discord server using the link in the description below to vent your frustrations. But to those who are ignorant to the horrors of PopCap, remain so. And stay vigilant, as EP mains could be anywhere, even hiding within yourselves. Alright, I think we'll call that there. Thank you very much everyone for watching. I understand that some people probably just saw the word stereotypes in the title and have immediately gone to leave some sort of comment about how TF2 YouTubers are running out of ideas or, you know, something like that, but after watching the video yourself, I hope you can see that this isn't just a riff on someone else's idea. There are some legitimate stereotypes tied to the various classes within Garden Warfare 2, and I'd love to cover more of them, but this video is designed as a one-off as I said earlier. But hey, 8 billion subscribers tomorrow and I'll make a part 2. But anyway, it's one final thank you from me for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you later down the sunny road.